Being a highly sensitive person means that your senses are more sensitive. It's not a good thing or a bad thing. It's not a flaw or a disorder. It's just how you engage with life on the inside and on the outside. And so really knowing that if this is you, then there are things that you need to be paying attention to make it easier to be a highly sensitive person. Things like tuning into when you're starting to feel overloaded or overwhelmed or overstimulated, and knowing the signs of that and being able to take care of yourself in that. Knowing that you might need more time to yourself, more time to recover, more time to recharge. But it doesn't mean that highly sensitive people are all introverts. Highly sensitive people do share some similar characteristics to introverts, maybe even many of them, but know that 30% of highly sensitive people are extroverts. So that makes sense because the title, highly sensitive person, matches very clearly to the description of being a highly sensitive person. But there are some more nuanced aspects of being a highly sensitive person that I want us to talk about today. There are some things about being a highly sensitive person that make it more intense to be a human in some really great ways and some challenging ways. So I want to talk about those today, and I want to get you more tuned in to what it means to be a highly sensitive person so that it can help you engage and interact with things in your outside environment and your internal world, what's going on inside of you, in a more fluid way. Essentially, I want to help make it easier for you to be a human as a highly sensitive person, especially among the parts that can make it hard. But first, if you're new here, welcome to our incredible little corner on the internet. Take a second, introduce yourself in the comment section below. If you are back again, it is always good to have you. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you get something out of it, that would be amazing. My name is Kristina, and I am a registered clinical therapist, a researcher, and a therapeutic coach. And I help heart-centered humans break through the crap that is holding them back so that they can like themselves and their lives more every day. So being a highly sensitive person, knowing that this is not a flaw or a disorder. Being a highly sensitive person is just how you are. It's a trait. It's how you engage in the world in a more sensitive way, as I just talked about. And interestingly enough, about 20% of the population are highly sensitive people. Also interesting to note that they have recently found what they believe to be a genetic marker for sensitivity. So literally, being sensitive is in your DNA. So we're not going to judge it. We're not going to say, oh my gosh, I'm way too sensitive. Oh my gosh, why do I get bothered by these things? Why do I get overwhelmed by these things? Why do I get stressed about these things? We're not going to judge it. We're just going to acknowledge that as a highly sensitive person, you feel things bigger and deeper on the outside and the inside. So what do we do with that information? It is a neutral statement. It is what it is. It's not right or wrong or good or bad. Like most things, there's some parts that make it really hard, and there's some parts that make it really amazing. But there are three main aspects of what it means to be a highly sensitive person in these more nuanced ways. Let's get into this. Here's the first one. Highly sensitive people are typically deeper processors. They are people who take things more inside, think about them, contemplate them. Now, it can be really hard if this thinking and contemplating turns into perseverating, ruminating, overstressing, overworrying, but it can be a really great thing when you are looking at using this for creativity, for innovation, for problem solving, being able to take a step back and really process and consider different aspects, different components, looking at things from different angles. That is what makes this part of being a highly sensitive person one of your greatest superpowers, because you are able to process things more deeply. It can make it hard when you are stressing and worrying and overthinking about things that you can do nothing about, but it makes it really amazing when it's about finding solutions and innovations and creative ways when it comes to the things that you can. The next thing about being a highly sensitive person is your ability to be emotionally responsive. This is a really powerful aspect of being a highly sensitive person because you have a lot more natural empathy for others, that you can pick up on and take in what's going on in your environment when it comes to other human beings. You can probably walk into a room, into a gathering of people, and you can almost just feel the people who are feeling left out, the people who are not really a part of things, the people who might be sort of like smiling and saying, oh, no, like you go ahead, or that's okay, like I can just sit on the outside. And you know that they are just doing that to be nice, to be polite, because they don't want to shove themselves into the middle of everything. They're not that kind of person. But you know that of course they want to be included. Of course they want to be a part of things. Of course they want to feel wanted and valued. And you're able to create space in the circle and bring them in, metaphorically and literally. You're able to tune into when someone is off and be able to say, hey, I feel like things are not great for you right now. What's going on? You seem a little off. You seem a little distracted. Is there something I can help with? Is there something you want to talk about? We're just able to pick up on that, which probably makes you a really great friend, a really valued confidant, and people feel naturally safe with you and they're able to open up with you. Now, this can be challenging if people, without you even inviting them to, always want to come and tell you their problems and are always coming to you trying to get you to solve their problems or for them to vent to. And you're like, sometimes I just don't have the capacity for it. Sometimes it just even feels too much because I feel your pain. I feel your feelings deeply. I just don't have the space for that right now. Or I'm in the middle of something else and I can't always just drop everything I'm doing to be there for everyone else, because I also need to be there for myself sometimes because there's things that I want to do that are important to me. And also I need to be taking the time to take care of myself. So that can make it hard, which is why boundaries as a highly sensitive person are going to be essential. Not the kind of boundaries that say everybody keep out, but the kind of boundaries that say, this is what I'm available for, this is what I'm not available for. Because being a highly sensitive person means that you're sensitive to what other people have going on, which is beautiful and amazing, but it can also make some things harder. The third aspect of being a highly sensitive person that differentiates you from those who aren't is that you are very sensitive to subtle stimuli. You can kind of pick up on when something doesn't seem right in your environment, at home, within yourself. You're probably a very intuitive person. You might even call that, or you might even call it that you're just intuitive, that you kind of just have this feeling when something doesn't seem right. And it's a feeling you can't really shake. And so it makes you really good at being able to suss out when something might not be a good idea, when something is too risky, when something has a very good chance of going the wrong way or turning into a disaster that other people might not be able to pick up on in the same way. It makes you sensitive to things like lighting. That lighting is going to impact you. You probably hate fluorescent lights and you probably really like warm lamplight. You probably get overwhelmed with kind of these subtle things like textures of clothes. It makes it so that you are sensitive to more subtle stimuli. You might even be the first one to notice when a picture frame is crooked. Or in my case, when the carpet in my bedroom is kind of bunched and out of place because my kids were jumping on the bed, and it kind of made the bed shift and it made the carpet kind of crumply. And my bed, it's just the way that it is. It's very heavy. So it's one of those like plasma or like memory foam mattresses, not plasma. I don't know. Memory foam mattresses, so it's a very heavy mattress, so it has a very supported base with many posts underneath, and it's very heavy, so I can't pick it up. I can't lift the bed to smooth out the carpet. So I've had these kind of lumps and bumps in my carpet for weeks. And my very strong friend just came over and lifted it while I smoothed it. And oh my gosh, my life is now completely together because my carpet is smooth. I'm joking, but the amount of relief that it gave me, the amount of peace of mind that it gave me having that carpet smooth, because it was driving me a little bit nuts every time I walked by or went into my bedroom and saw the lumps and bumps and crookedness of the carpet. So it's going to make some things really great, because you're going to be able to pick up on these little stimuli that are happening in your environment. You're going to have a really strong sense of intuition. You're probably going to be really good at making decisions that just feel right, where you're like, I don't know why, but this just feels right. And that's not by accident. It's not some big woo-woo thing. It's just that your brain is paying attention unconsciously to a lot more factors, that it's aware of a lot more things. And so you're going to have that stronger intuition where you might go with your gut feeling on something more often than not because of that sensitivity. You're also going to find that because of the sensitivity to those subtle things, you are going to get so much pleasure and so much more of a deep, soul-filling joy from little things. Going out for a walk in the fall when the leaves are changing and just seeing the colors and the nuances and the lighting in the sky that's coming through and casting shadows and filtering through, it is going to make you feel so happy. When you see your kids playing sports and running around and having a good time and being in their element and trying hard, you are going to feel so incredibly proud and happy for them, because again, that sensitivity to their feelings. So when people you love are feeling good, you are going to feel so good. You are going to notice the little things. You're going to be paying attention to the meaningful conversation and just feel that connection with that person that you are talking to. And it's going to bring you such a deep sense of connection and belonging. So knowing that being a highly sensitive person can make some things more challenging. And it also makes so many things so much more beautiful. If you do get stuck in that overthinking part and you want to be able to just take a step back from everything that's going on in your brain, then make sure that you get my 10-minute guided mindfulness exercise. It's an audio, it's totally free. Just grab the link in the description below. You can plug some earphones in right now, and not only is it going to be immediately calming and regulating for your nervous system, it is also going to help you get out of the spinning thoughts part that can make being a highly sensitive person hard. As always, it is so good to have you here. Let me know what connected with you in the comment section below. And to my fellow highly sensitive people, glad you're here. Until next time, take good care.